So, you want to launch a subscription box and don't know where to start? Girl, you are in the right place. I'm Julie Ball, a subscription box coach, and your host here at Subscription Box Basics, a podcast for new and aspiring subscription box entrepreneurs that want to avoid overwhelm. So grab a coffee, some pen and paper, and let's have some fun. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Subscription Box Basics. Thank you so much for joining us today. I have a guest with me. She is one of my star students in Subscription Box Bootcamp, and I can't wait for you to meet her. So I'd like to introduce to you Becky Launder from the Modern Direct Seller Box, which I have in my hands and is so amazing. Becky, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Yeah, and you joined bootcamp not long ago. Like, you are a fast mover. When did you join bootcamp?
I think it was in September.
Yeah, so we're only not even 6 months, barely. So that's crazy. And you've had a lot of success. So I cannot wait to unpack your story. But a lot of people will be meeting you for the first time. So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, and we'll just start there.
Yeah, sounds good. So thank you for having me again. Excited to be here. Becky Launder. My business is myconsultanttraining.com, and my box is the Modern Direct Seller Box. So flashback to a few years back, I was working in the corporate world and marketing strategy for a leadership training company, and kind of fell into the world of direct sales, which I accidentally did really well in and loved. It was never part of my career path to step away from my corporate job, that I'd still be in some executive role right now. And my direct sales business really took off. So after working with several direct sales companies, I completely stepped away from the sales field and really just focused on training and strategy for direct sellers and direct sales companies. And most recently introduced the Modern Direct Seller Box to provide my audience with all kinds of fun goodies to help them work their business, grow their business, spoil themselves and their customers and their team, and also look good on social media. So we have some fun training on different ways to use the box when you're showing up online.
Awesome. It's such a good idea. And I was looking at your website, and this something that really stuck out to me. It was this Ancient Mama's Tupperware party.
Yes, there's a new, modern, better way to use some great online marketing skills to run your direct sales business. So, direct sales kind of has a bad rap for being the spammy, gross market. And so I'm on a mission to change that and teach people the right way to grow a really successful direct sales business.
Awesome. So you had the consulting side of your business already set up. You have an academy, right? And you have a podcast yourself. So you have a lot of moving parts already. And so you decided to add another stream of revenue, which I think is super smart. So let's take a step back. Let's tell everyone a little bit more about your box. Like, what's in your box? Give us the details. Like, what's the size of your box? Everyone that's listening, there are new and aspiring subscription box business owners, so they want to know it all. So dish us on like how you came up with, like, why did you add the box? What do you put in it? All that good stuff.
Okay, good. So yes, I have a membership academy. So I have about 550 members in my online membership academy. And that academy is really geared towards direct sellers that are looking for training. They're looking for strategy. They're looking for community. So I already really had an established customer base and an email list and a website. I knew how to take payments on memberships. And I'm really familiar with that model of having that recurring monthly income, which is dreamy. And so it wasn't that long ago that somebody had asked me, hey, like, why don't you put together a shop? Like, have you ever thought about adding to your website a shop of supplies and products that direct sellers are constantly purchasing for their business? And I started asking my members in my communities, this is where my market research came in, hey, what would you want in a shop? And what kinds of items are you buying for your team? And what kind of goodies would you look for as you're trying to figure out this whole online marketing scene? And it wasn't that long after that, actually, someone on my team, Jenna, she said, Becky, I think you should just make it into a monthly box. How fun would that happy. So it honestly started as a little bit of a passion project. Full disclosure, my husband and I work together, and we have always done digital products. I have courses, I have an online membership. Like, we don't do physical product. I used to when I was in my direct sales businesses. I had all my product all organized, but we really stepped away from that. Our garage at one point was clean and we didn't have a whole bunch of product hanging out in our garage. And so my husband was like, no, physical product. No, we're not doing this. So I convinced him, like, let's just pilot it. Let's just see what happens. Let's just put a web page up and let's just see who's interested. Mm-hmm. So I won that battle because 100 people first month. He said, okay, maybe you're onto something. Let's give it 3 months and let's see how things go.
Okay. And here you are.
Here I am.
And you're thriving. Okay. So what do you put in the box?
Yes. So every month is a little bit different, but there's always a couple different themes. So there's something to help you work or grow your business, which I'm a total office supply junkie. So there's usually some office supplies in there, some fun goodies. Back in December, we did these really cool scratchers that you could use to send to your customers with a prize. People loved those. Things that are going to really help you make more money in your business is the objective there. And then we have a whole category around things that you can treat yourself with. So we've done like a face mask, or we've done a hot chocolate bomb. We've just done some fun little goodies that you can enjoy. And then the other category is really how to show up on social media. So I've tried to put some things in there that people can use as they're running their business, like confetti to throw up in the air, or some fun balloons that they can use for a social media photo. We've come up with some really cool stuff of different ways, different products that you can use as you're showing up to build your business online in a fun and unique way. And then they also have training, which I call outside the box. So they have their outside the box training where they can log into our courses and check out a monthly training and get a workbook where they can download it and fill out information as they're thinking about whatever that theme is for the month.
I love it. And so was it difficult to add this additional stream of revenue to your business? I mean, you said you already had a lot of the technology set up. You had to now learn, though, the product sourcing side and choosing a box. And for those listening, you should know that Becky sends a box, like a brown craft box, and she has custom tape on there. Mm-hmm. And so it looks actually really beautiful because when she put it together, and I'll have to share a picture of this in the blog and on social media, the tape itself has got her logo, like the step and repeat, where you have the logo over and over, but it's different colors. So it just pops. Like there's like a dark purple and then a pink. And so you can really dress up a plain craft box to be on brand. And then do you still do the label then too, on top of that? Okay. Tell them how you do that.
Yeah. So we just updated the label. So it's kind of like 1/3 of the label is on the top of the box and 2/3 of it is on the front of the box, if that makes sense. So we have a custom label where it's like, it's here, with all of our social media contact info. And honestly, back to the question, that was the hardest part for us. Like I can deliver training all day. I can add a course online. I can create a digital workbook, but the idea of a physical product working with suppliers has been a little bit more challenging, and being reliant on someone else and a time frame that is on them. If it's digital, I can whip that out tonight and have it up on my website tomorrow. No big deal. But when you're working with different suppliers, and honestly, the box itself was probably my biggest hiccup in launching. And I got so hung up on, should I do a custom box or should I do a plain box? Do I want to spend the extra money to get custom branded boxes? And actually, as we're recording this podcast, you guys, I am in my garage because that's the quietest place in my house. And Julie can see behind me, there's a bunch of boxes. These are custom boxes that we did not use.
Wait, you got custom boxes, but you're not using them?
Yes. Because this is what happened. So we ordered the boxes and we had some major delays from our supplier. And so it kind of at the last minute was like, we got to come up with a backup plan. These custom boxes are not arriving on time.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to the Brown Craft Box and I bought the custom tape from Sticker Mule. And
Good.
I had that on hand. And I'm like, let's just print some labels from our home printer and slap these things together and get this first box out.
Yeah.
And people liked it.
That's
And
awesome.
then when I looked at the price difference of doing a custom box versus the craft box, I didn't want to take a couple dollars away from product that I could put in the box just to make the outside of the box look a little bit prettier. So for now, we're sticking with the craft boxes. Our labels are getting a little fancier. Our tape might get a little flashier,
Yep.
but we're going to stick with the craft boxes at least for the short while until we really get in the groove of things and our profit margins just get a little bit bigger. And then maybe we'll switch over to the custom boxes, and I got them behind me when we're ready to do that.
So when you're ready, you're ready. Yeah. And you could always use those for special edition boxes. Like if you're celebrating, your company's anniversary or the holidays or something like that. So you'll find a use for them. But I think what you've done so far is great with the craft box. It just goes to show you that you don't have to come out of the gates like with the custom box.
Right.
Yes, it can help depending on your target audience, but you have done a great job on it. And I love the way that, so you have your tape that seals the box and decorates it, but then it's kind of like a square-ish label, maybe a rectangle. You're actually using it to seal the box as well.
Yes.
So it's like working to brand the box, but also to seal the box. So it's very efficient.
Yes, it works very well. And we're so excited because this next month, we're not packing our own boxes. We have a fulfillment center that we're working with. So that was like a huge win. And maybe part of the compromise with my husband that we are entering the world of physical products, but we're not going to pack 150 boxes in our living room. So that's exciting for us.
It's a smart move. It takes up a lot of space. And so often when we are getting into those numbers, and I usually say 250 is kind of that sweet spot where most people are going to get the profit margin and they need to get out of their own way. Like it takes a lot of time to build the boxes. Because remember, these boxes come flat packed. So you have to first build the box.
Yep.
You have to unbox all the products, repack them in your boxes. So there's a lot of moving parts on shipping day and packing day.
Yes.
So
and we already have so much happening in our business. We were at the point, I'm like, I can't take 6 hours away from the other work that I need to be doing in the business to pack boxes. So we jumped the gun a little bit because we're only around 150 boxes, but we're working with a local fulfillment center and they're also doing our printing. So they're printing our labels, they're printing our inserts, they're handling so much of the infrastructure, which I'm just thrilled about.
That's a beautiful thing. I love that. When I was working with a local fulfillment center for a couple years before we moved, we work with Shipmonk now, and we moved because our local like mom and pop warehouse couldn't do our shop orders. They didn't have the software capability. So we were able to manage it just through Google Sheets. So, we would have a tab for each month and I'd say, this is what's coming. This is what you're going to receive. This is what's going to go in the box. So we made it super simple. And they also were a print shop. So they printed out our gift messages, which was
I love that.
So helpful to take that off our plate. Yeah.
And we have the same Google Sheet. We borrowed it from you.
Oh, yes.
It was in boot camp.
From boot camp. There you go.
Yep, we're living it. It's a tab that is always open on my computer.
Same here. I swear. All of the templates that we use in boot camp, we still use to this day in my own business. And so you can definitely scale with those. So let's talk about some challenges real quick. You said the learning the product side of it was a challenge. The custom boxes was a challenge. What were some of the other challenges that you had to overcome in those first pre-launch or those first few months?
Well, it was interesting because since I already had a little bit of a following, I kind of, we launched, I joke that I threw up a landing page and we sold an empty box because literally I didn't have any examples of what was going in it. I hadn't ordered anything. It was just kind of a pilot, like, let's see what happens. And so it went well, obviously. And so
Clearly.
then it was like, okay, we gotta scramble and make sure we get product in time. So we had about a month and a half lead time from when we pre-sold the boxes to when we launched, but that was definitely pushing it. Mm-hmm. So we ran into a couple issues where we were shorted a couple items from a supplier, and I was like out at a craft store at 11 p.m. at night before we were shipping, like buying washi tape to add into our boxes. And
done that too.
Right. There was some little hiccups along the way. But generally, like, things have actually gone pretty smooth. And I attribute that to being part of your program in boot camp, because we literally went through the courses, we followed the instructions, and that's what we've done. And it's gone really, really smoothly. One thing that I did learn is not to include anything perishable in the box. So that was probably an obvious one, but anybody listening that's thinking about a box and wants to put a hot cocoa bomb in there, they have a shelf life of about 2 weeks. And if you're shipping to Canada, sometimes it takes longer than that. So just little things like that along the way that we've learned, like, well, that was, here's another good one. I bought product that didn't fit in the box. That was a mix up. The product itself fit, but the outside packaging didn't fit in the box. So when I asked for the product dimensions, it fit, but we didn't have enough time in that first run to get product samples in. We just went straight to ordering. So that was a big lesson that we're really trying to get ahead on now, is making sure we always have a sample ahead of time before placing a bulk order.
It's so smart. And I think it's important too, what you said is you might know what the product dimensions are, but packaging, a lot of the things that you're going to buy are packaged for a retail store. So they might have like a hang tag, or they might have a box to sit on a shelf. And so you have to make sure not only that it fits in your box, but it's going to fit with the other things in your box too.
Exactly. Yeah. And so my husband, his background is electrical engineering. And the whole time he was like, is everything going to fit in the box? Like, have you measured it all? And this is him that's a little resistant to the physical product idea. Did you measure it? I'm like, yeah, everything's going to fit in the box. Of course it's going to fit in the box. And then I got 150 or something of this item that didn't fit in the box.
What did you do?
We actually returned them and they took them back. So that worked out in our favor. But at one point I was going to repackage them, like take the outer packaging out and try to just put it in there. But I just felt like it just didn't quite look as professional. So we ended up shipping it back, and we got something else instead that was even better. So it all worked out in the end. But another little hiccup, little challenge, you live, you learn.
We all have to learn the hard way on some things. You are not alone. I've heard it from seasoned veterans in my industry. Like, I just didn't realize how big this product was going to be. And then the thing you said about food is there's a couple things you have to keep in mind. One, you want to make sure that any food is clearly labeled and it has that expiration date printed on it. So I know, like, if I were to put a snack item in Sparkle Hustle Grow Box, which we have done a lot in the past, I always make sure, like, I say, what is the expiration date? I need to make sure that I like to ask for like one that's going to be 3 to 6 months beyond my shipping date, because you just never know. We order things in advance. So we obviously need them in advance. We need them to last longer than that. You want to make sure that you're storing them in a good way. It's like if you're in a warehouse, you want to make sure that that warehouse is temperature controlled, humidity controlled. Like, does this item need to be cold, or, so you have to think of all those things. And the other thing you need to think about is destination. So, like, obviously you cannot ship chocolates in the middle of the summer to places like Texas and California and Florida.
Yeah,
and
it'll be a melted mess when it arrives.
Right. So, and are you in San Diego?
I'm in San Diego. Yeah.
Okay. I thought so. I love San Diego. And that's one of those places I think of. I was like, if I were to ship this in November, what's it like in San Diego?
There you go. Yeah. Luckily it was the January box, but good. I mean, I had to substitute things out for some of our customers in Canada. And that's the other thing too, is just the cost of shipping. Yes. I grossly underestimated how much it would cost to get a box from my home to their home. And so we're absorbing a lot of that shipping cost, which I'm sure a lot of other boxes are doing right now, just because shipping is a lot and you don't want to pass that entire cost on to your customer. But that's an area that I'm hoping as we grow and have a little bit more volume, we'll be able to have a little bit more negotiating around the pricing on shipping with our UPS provider.
Yeah. And I think, there's volume discounts. You can use software that's going to help aggregate you with other business owners that will help you get those volume discounts.
Right.
We like to use Pirate Ship, but they only serve USPS.
USPS.
Yeah. So if you're using UPS, do you use ShipStation or one of those other softwares, or do you buy direct?
So we negotiated some rates with UPS Direct. So that worked out pretty well. And then we have like a plugin on our website that generates the labels. So everything is happening seamlessly behind the scenes. And I feel like we're getting a pretty comparable price. It's actually pretty similar to USPS, but we initially launched with only $6 for shipping. And so we've increased that to $7, and we're still covering a couple dollars per box.
Yeah, I think that's pretty typical. It's such a hard conversation to have because the higher you raise your shipping rate, the more turnoff it is for a customer. But I think it's becoming more clear to people that, yes, you can get that stuff from Amazon, but when you're shopping small business, like, that's not how it works. Shipping is not free at all. And so we have to find other ways to cover that in our margin if we want to keep that shipping cost, even the perception of that shipping cost low. And it's so hard. It's so hard to build that into a box and say free shipping, and then you lose all of those dollars from your product budget.
Right. Exactly. So we're still charging shipping on top of the box cost. And I like, it hurts my heart because I hate paying for shipping, but
I know
at the same time, like, we still have to make sure that this is a profitable venture. And so that's something that we've definitely been trying to navigate over the last couple months to make sure that we still have really strong margins and that we're not, asking people an unreasonable amount to pay for shipping on top of the box.
Yeah, I agree. And if you're listening, you're thinking about raising your shipping rate, January is typically, in even just Q1, is typically a good time of the year to raise your rates, because that's when most of the carriers are either rolling out or considering their annual rate increase. And so that's a really easy way to communicate with your customers. Our carrier raised their rates. We are absorbing some, we are passing some along to the customer. This is a business. Like, I know it's easier for me, I feel like, and you, because our customers are small business owners. So they might understand
They're
a little
used
better.
to shipping.
Yeah. A typical consumer who isn't buying shipping for products and they're not in that world, they might not get it as well. So I feel like we can be really transparent. You and I can be very transparent with our customers and say, hey guys, we're running a business just like you are. Our shipping rates are going up from the carrier, and this is how we're going to handle it. But if you're, shipping to a typical consumer base, one that is maybe not business owners, that might be a harder conversation to have.
I think so. I mean, people are used to Amazon. Everything.
Love it.
They ruined it for us, even though I get an Amazon package like every day.
Right? I know, we have one of those cameras, those Ring cameras in our driveway and in front of our house. And every time it triggers, it's like the Amazon Prime truck. I'm like, Prime's here.
Yep. Just another day.
Yep. So, okay. So let's move on. You've got your hand in a couple different industries. You're course creator, you've got membership, and now you have this subscription box. What's one of your favorite things about the subscription box industry?
Oh, okay. So hands down, the surprise and delight factor. So just the excitement that I get to see from my customers around getting something in the mail, especially being in the online world where so much of what we do is virtual, getting physical mail and getting so excited to open and unbox that and not knowing what's inside it. Like, that part of it is so fun that, they get to kind of have this experience every time they get to open the box to see what's in it, what products are going to help them with their business for the month, is going to help them think outside the box, it's going to help them show it better on social media. So I absolutely love, love, love seeing all of the photos from my customers, the unboxing videos. I think it's more fun for me than maybe even them because I get to see it posted on social media and how excited they are when they get something that they maybe would have never purchased for themselves or even thought of using for their business and find it super, super fun and exciting.
Well, I have good news for you because it doesn't get old. 4.5 years in, and I'm still, every time I ship out boxes, I get a little bit nervous. And then I head over to Instagram a couple days later and start searching for our hashtag, like looking for all the unboxing videos. And I just love that about the business. It's so fun. And I just realized this the other day. I was telling my husband, I was like, I think one of my love languages is gift giving. Like I love to give. And I always thought of love languages as what people are doing to me or for me or like filling my bucket, but it's also like what we're doing for others, like that can fill our own bucket. Yes. And it sounds like you love giving gifts as well.
I do. It is. And I always did this in my direct sales business for my customers or somebody hosted a party for me or for people on my team. I'd always drop happy mail in the mail for them because I knew that just sending a simple hair bow to match a dress that somebody bought for me or sending, a little bit of stationery to a new rep that had joined my team, that made a world of difference in their experience and how they thought about their relationship with me. Like, oh, not only is she great and I got that dress that I wanted, but she also threw in a hair bow. How cool was that? Right.
So and a handwritten note sometimes, right?
Yes, exactly. And I think that's why people love shopping small and they want to choose us over Amazon on some days, right?
Yes.
Because there is that personal relationship. Yeah. So I love that piece of it. And I think maybe I was missing it a little bit when I stepped away from the direct sales field and actually selling and was completely focused on digital products. So I'm coming back to it and I'm loving it.
Yay. I'm so glad you're loving it. Yeah. Okay. So you're still new in this. So you can really relate to a lot of people who are just in that startup phase. What's one piece of advice that you can share with these new and aspiring subscription box business owners?
Oh, okay. So I think the biggest win in our launch process was the pre-sale. So I would definitely take a pre-sale approach. Like it sounds kind of crazy selling an empty box, but as long as you know the categories of what you're going to include and maybe some examples of the type of product that you're going to have in the box, doing that pre-sale really validated our idea. So that pre-sale was an opportunity for us to practice our messaging and practice our marketing and think about what our customers were looking for before we went out and spent thousands of dollars on product. So I loved that part of our launch process and would 1,000,000% duplicate that time and time again, because it really gave us a little bit of leg room too to kind of get started. And we had a little bit of a running start. So we pre-sold the last week of October and our boxes didn't ship until the first week of December. Okay. So we had a good 6 weeks in there that we were marketing, we were promoting, and also figuring out what we were going to put in the box all at the same time. But that pre-launch really created a lot of buzz. And we did a giveaway. We used King Sumo for a giveaway. And there was just a lot of excitement among our followers around the launch. And they helped us launch because we created that buzz with the pre-launch. Yeah.
I love it. You really did follow the bootcamp roadmap.
I'm a good student.
Awesome.
When I saw the course, I was like, I'm not going to try to figure out how to do this on my own. I am just going to let Julie tell me all the things I need to do, and I am going to follow every single step. No need to reinvent the wheel here. She got it down.
just do what I say, right? Someone else told me that when I joined a program. They're like, just do what it says and you'll succeed. I promise. Just do what they say.
Yes.
So with our pre-sale, we pretty much sold an empty box as well. I got on, I think it was either Amazon or Uline, and bought, I think maybe like a 10-pack of hot pink boxes because I knew I wanted my box to be pink, but I didn't have a custom design yet. The only thing I had was a logo. And so I took a picture of the pink box out on my back deck. And then I used Canva to drop my logo on it. And I was like, hey, there's the box. That's what I started marketing with. I was like,
that's exactly what we did. We took a brown box Canva stock photo and then took our proof of the sticker mule tape and put it over the picture. And ironically, we were like, oh, we're just going to do this for a hot minute because we got these custom boxes coming. And then we were like, no, that actually worked great. And we're just going to stick with that for a while.
I love it. Yeah. See, so often we overthink things. Just make it so people know it's a box. You have to show them that it's a tangible mail item. And that's what we both did with that. So that's awesome. I'm just so proud of you and I'm so happy for you. Where can people follow you and find you online so they can either subscribe to the box or just, see what you're up to? What would those places be?
Yeah. So if you want to check out the box, it's moderndirectsellerbox.com. And all of my direct sales training, community, all of that is over at myconsultanttraining.com. And I like hanging out on Insta, so you can always DM me over at Modern Direct Seller.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today. What a treat to hear your story. And I just appreciate you being such a star student and sharing your experience.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Julie.
Of course. And so listeners, I hope this gave you some inspiration especially if you already have a business and you're thinking about adding an additional stream of revenue. This is an easy way to do that. You can pilot it just like Becky did, see if it has legs, see what your existing audience thinks about it, and poll them, survey them, ask them what they would want and ask them what they think. Is a really great way to just even start that conversation. So again, Becky, thank you so much. Everybody, thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next episode.